Welcome to Book Summary Podcast, your gateway to personal transformation. Each episode delivers big ideas from the world's most impactful books on mindset, productivity, and success, all in just a few minutes. Ready to turn knowledge into action? Let's get started.
Do you ever feel caught in that relentless cycle of working just to pay the bills, dreaming of financial stability and true freedom, but maybe never quite reaching it? That feeling of being stuck in the rat race, it's incredibly common, isn't it? And it really boils down to one core question. How do we actually achieve real wealth and lasting financial freedom, especially in a world that, let's be honest, often feels rigged against us?
Yeah, absolutely.
So today, we're going on a deep dive into a powerful new book that promises to be, well, nothing short of a wake-up call, a way to transform your financial habits.
Sounds intense.
It is. We've had the incredible opportunity to immerse ourselves in Start Thinking Rich by Dr. Klontz and Adrian Brambila. And let me tell you, this is not your typical soft-glove financial advice.
No feel-good platitudes here, huh?
Not at all. The authors promise 21 harsh truths and a really direct, no-nonsense approach to money that definitely pulls no punches.
Okay, so our mission for this deep dive, then, is to truly unpack the most critical insights from this book. We're going to explore how our, deeply ingrained beliefs about money might be holding us back.
Beliefs we don't even realize we have sometimes.
Exactly. Beliefs we often don't even know are there. And then, crucially, reveal the actionable strategies wealthy people actually use, the ones that often go against conventional wisdom.
Okay.
So you can expect some genuine aha moments, I think.
Yeah.
Perspectives that will definitely challenge your assumptions, and importantly, practical wisdom designed to help you stop being poor and truly start thinking rich.
Right.
Our aim is really to help you gain this crucial financial knowledge quickly, thoroughly, and hopefully without feeling overwhelmed, getting you straight to the heart of what's genuinely important for building lasting wealth.
Fantastic. So let's jump straight into what the authors argue is the foundational shift, the absolute starting point for any financial transformation. Mindset.
Mindset is everything, basically.
Right. They hit hard with the truth that your beliefs about money are, quite literally, keeping you poor. They identify several poor mindsets that, in their view, need to be completely dismantled if you have any hope of changing your financial trajectory.
Okay, like what kind of mindsets?
Well, one of the first and maybe most pervasive myths they tackle is the idea that rich people are evil, or perhaps that God doesn't want you to be poor.
Yeah, you hear that a lot.
Definitely. It often stems from these deeply held societal or even religious notions that money is somehow inherently bad or, the root of all evil.
But the book counters this forcefully, right? Saying money isn't inherently good or bad, it's a tool. They call it a personality exaggerator.
Personality exaggerator. I like that. Explain that a bit more.
Well, think about it. If you're already inclined towards generosity and compassion, more money actually lets you amplify that good.
Right. You can do more good things.
Yeah, exactly. You can fund charities, invest in communities, support causes you believe in on a much larger scale. But the flip side is also true. If your tendencies lean towards, say, greed or control, more money just supercharges those less desirable traits, makes them much more potent.
Okay.
So the profound insight here is that money doesn't change who you are. It simply reveals and magnifies your existing character traits, making them far more impactful in the world.
That makes a lot of sense. It's not the tool itself, it's the person using it.
Precisely.
Wow.
And the authors are quite clear in their view that whatever higher power you believe in, it wants abundance for you, not deprivation.
Okay, so that's one myth busted. Another poor mindset they explore is the belief that more stuff will make me happier.
Oh yeah, the consumerism trap.
Totally. We've all felt that fleeting rush from a new purchase, haven't we? It's like getting an amazing birthday present as a kid. The excitement lasts a day, maybe a week if you're lucky.
And then it just fades.
Yeah.
The book really highlights this temporary nature of happiness from material possessions. And often it leaves us with nothing but, a bigger credit card bill and more stress when the novelty wears off.
It's a classic trap.
And Adrian, one of the authors, he offers a fantastic personal anecdote here. He describes his own journey from living in a condo that was just crammed with what he calls unnecessary stuff to making a radical shift. He moved to Europe, embraced a minimalist lifestyle, even lived in a van for a year.
Wow, that's extreme.
It is. But his belief became every object you own owns a piece of you.
Owns a piece of you.
Yeah, what's striking about that is the sense of burden. The more you acquire, the more you're not only owned by maybe the debt those things incurred, but also by the sheer mental and physical weight of maintaining them, protecting them, worrying about them.
Right. The powerful argument for freedom over just accumulation.
Definitely.
And speaking of shocking realities, the third poor mindset they challenge is that pervasive image that rich people are big spenders.
Ah, the reality TV version of wealth.
Exactly. Our media landscape, social media feeds, it constantly bombards us with images of celebrities flaunting wealth, the Lambos, the private jets, the sprawling mansions. It's the ultimate flex culture.
But the truly shocking reality, according to the authors, is that most self-made millionaires are actually incredibly frugal. They tend to intentionally downplay their wealth.
Really? That seems so counterintuitive to what we see.
It does. And Dr. Brad Klontz provides compelling data for this. He conducted a study of over 1,000 financial planning clients, and what he found was pretty remarkable.
Okay.
A group with an average $11 million net worth spent only twice as much as a group with a $500,000 net worth.
Only twice as much, despite being...
It's despite being 22 times richer.
Wow.
That completely shatters the media image, doesn't it? The core logic is kind of inescapable. To acquire $1 million net worth, you must, by definition, not spend $1 million.
Right, you have to save and invest it.
It's about accumulation and strategic investment, not immediate gratification or showing off.
Okay, that makes sense. Finally, they tackle the poor mindset that declares you can't trust people around money.
Ah, the scarcity mindset strikes again.
Exactly. This often stems from a scarcity mindset, maybe rooted in childhood experiences of poverty or maybe having been taken advantage of in the past. But here's the problem. Becoming financially free, especially as your wealth grows, absolutely requires a degree of trust.
Trust in legitimate professionals, you mean? Like advisors, accountants?
Precisely. Financial advisors, accountants, you need them.
And this is where the nuance is crucial, isn't it? Many of the cautionary tales we hear about people losing all their money weren't actually about legitimate investing with professionals.
Right. What were they about then?
They were often about falling prey to speculation or those, get-rich-quick schemes, which are entirely different games. The wealthy, ironically, are more likely to trust and hire financial professionals. They see them as essential partners in managing and growing their money, rather than avoiding them out of suspicion or feeling like they have to do it all themselves. They understand that specialized knowledge is worth paying for.
That's a really interesting point. They see it as an investment, not a risk.
Exactly.
So moving from these mindsets to the very real physiological impacts, the book makes a really compelling case about the neurological effects of poverty. It's not just about having less money. It actually changes your brain.
Yeah, what's truly fascinating here is how the book dives into the scientific aspect. Research has found that poverty, especially early in life, isn't just about economic hardship. It literally changes your brain's architecture and function.
How so?
Well, it's linked to a reduction in the hippocampus. That's your brain's stress regulator and memory center, crucial for learning and processing.
Okay.
And it's also linked to increased activity in the amygdala, which is your brain's alarm bell, constantly processing emotions and danger.
So you're constantly on edge, basically.
Pretty much. This isn't just academic. Imagine living your daily life with a constantly ringing alarm bell in your head and a weakened ability to calmly process information or remember solutions. It makes everything from learning new skills to simply making sound decisions incredibly challenging.
Yeah, I could see how that would create a trap.
It really does. It creates a truly self-perpetuating cycle that traps people.
That's a profound point. It makes the phrase poverty trap feel much more literal. And it brings us to that age-old question. Can money really buy happiness? For years, that old study was everywhere, claiming happiness plateaued at $75,000 a year.
Right, the 75K myth. The authors highlight that newer, more comprehensive research has actually debunked this.
So more money does make you happier.
Well, the updated studies, which are much more robust, have found that higher incomes are indeed associated with higher levels of happiness and far beyond that old $75,000 mark. The book even references clear data that illustrates this. And Adrian's personal experience really drives this home, moving beyond the academic. He recounts how he once believed 75K was the golden number for happiness, even taking a 27K call center job because he thought that number was achievable.
Okay.
But then during the pandemic, his income soared to over $1.2 million,
Oh.
all while he was living in a van and embracing minimalism. His conclusion: Being rich and testing the limits of possibility has an underestimated satisfaction. It isn't just about luxury, it's about the profound freedom and options that wealth provides.
That's a powerful personal testimony right there.
Yeah.
Freedom and options, not just stuff.
Exactly.
Now, to underscore the severity of being poor, the book uses a really chilling analogy. Death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah, it's a powerful, almost visceral analogy for the reality of being poor. It likens it to the ancient Chinese torture of slow slicing.
Oof.
It's a slow bleed out, not from one catastrophic event, but from a relentless series of small erosions that cumulatively drain your future and energy. Think about it. Living paycheck to paycheck, that's a cut. Having no retirement savings, another cut. Living in a dangerous neighborhood, not being able to afford decent clothes or good schools for your kids, lacking access to healthy food, those are all deeper cuts.
Right. They all add up.
They absolutely add up.
Right.
High-interest credit cards or vehicle loans leading to job loss can turn into a financial hemorrhage. The core insight here is that each financial habit, each lack of planning, isn't just a minor setback. It's an insidious cut that cumulatively drains your future and energy.
It sounds like a vicious cycle.
It is. It leaves millions feeling powerless and hopeless. The blunt truth, as the book states, is that being poor really does suck, and it can literally kill you, impacting your mental health, increasing chronic disease, shortening life expectancies.
That's heavy.
It is. But the power, however, lies in recognizing these insidious cuts and actively choosing to heal them one decision at a time.
That paints a stark but incredibly important picture. So what does this all mean for us as listeners? It means understanding where your power truly lies. The poor mindset, as they call it, often comes with an external locus of control.
Meaning you blame outside forces.
Exactly. Blaming others, feeling hopeless, giving up easily when faced with a stressful situation. It's that feeling of life's not fair, so why bother?
Right.
But a rich mindset cultivates an internal locus of control. This means taking action, making plans, and seeing power in small, consistent steps, even when life feels unfair or the odds seem stacked against you.
So it's about agency.
Absolutely. The book's direct message is that 99.99% of the time you are not totally powerless to improve your situation. Even one small step forward shifts you towards that internal locus of control and away from learned helplessness. It's about finding that agency within yourself.
And building on that powerful idea of internal control, the book then fundamentally redefines capitalism itself. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it presents capitalism not as some rigged system that victimizes individuals, but rather as a game.
A game. That's an interesting way to frame it. Merriam-Webster defines capitalism as an economic system characterized by private or corporate ownership, investments determined by private decision, and prices, production, and distribution determined mainly by competition in a free market. Key words there being competition and free market.
Exactly. And the book posits that wealth generation is a completely different game than what most people understand. People fail, it argues, not because they're lazy or not trying, but because they're playing football with a pickleball paddle.
Huh. Okay, I get that image. Wrong tools for the job.
Precisely. They're putting in effort, but it's fundamentally misdirected, using the wrong tools for the wrong arena. Adrian recounts his own stark realization. Making a mere $1 an hour raise at a call center felt like grinding, especially compared to witnessing someone like T-Pain make $1 million in minutes from a song launch.
Yeah, that's a harsh comparison.
It is. He realized he was playing the wrong game entirely. The consequence of playing the wrong game is profound frustration and a stark lack of success, despite genuine effort. Just like learning a new video game, you need to learn the specific rules and maybe even the cheat codes of capitalism to truly win.
So it's about understanding the system, not just working hard within it blindly.
Exactly. It's not about being lucky. It's about understanding the playbook and then executing on it.
That's a compelling shift in perspective. And here's where it gets really interesting, I think. The book presents a harsh truth about how income is determined, which ties directly into this idea of the game.
Okay, what's the truth?
It's about your economic value. Now, this isn't about your inherent human value, which is, of course, priceless. We need to be clear on that.
Right, not your worth as a person.
No. Instead, it's about what people are willing to pay for your product or service in the market.
It's a cold, hard truth of the marketplace, isn't it? This explains why noble professions like firefighters and teachers, while contributing absolutely priceless value to society,
Absolutely priceless.
are often stuck in a game with low economic ceilings. The book makes the point provocatively. Getting a Presidential Medal of Freedom won't change your salary if the market doesn't value your economic contribution at a higher rate.
Ouch. But I see the point.
It's not a judgment on their worth as humans, but a reality of how the current economic game is structured.
And building on that, the book directly challenges the notion that your boss controls your income. It argues that you are fundamentally in control, and your current job often reflects your mindset about what you believe you're worth in the market.
So how do you increase that value then?
The strategy, they say, is straightforward. Increase your skill set, your talents, your expertise. They use Dr. Brad's own journey as a prime example. He combined two seemingly disparate fields, psychology and financial planning, to create the niche field of financial psychology.
Ah, combining skills.
Exactly. And that led to a quantum leap in his economic worth. It's about creating high demand for a unique and valuable combination of skills.
Makes sense. Find a niche where you're uniquely valuable.
Right. And this brings us to what the authors call no glass ceilings online, highlighting the internet as this massive, unparalleled opportunity.
Because the traditional 9-to-5 can have those ceilings.
Totally. The harsh reality of traditional 9-to-5 jobs is that your value can be subjective, and external factors like discrimination or broken promises can create frustrating glass ceilings that limit your growth. But the alternative, things like e-lancing on platforms like Upwork.com and Fiverr.com, changes the rules.
How so? What's different online?
Well, what's beautiful about the internet, as the book highlights, is that it truly doesn't care about what you look like, your background, or even if you have a criminal record. Your income is 100% based on the value you give to the market.
Purely on output and skill.
Exactly. They provide the compelling example of Stephanie K., an orphan with ADHD raised by Midwest farmers, who despite early struggles, including a period of stripping to make ends meet, became incredibly successful online by leveraging the internet's uncapped opportunities.
Wow, that's quite a story.
Isn't it? Her story powerfully illustrates that the internet offers a level playing field where merit and value delivery can truly shine through, regardless of your starting point.
That's incredibly inspiring. It really shows the potential.
It does. So what does this all mean for us, the listeners? It means we need to be incredibly wary of those temptations that promise quick riches. Take lottery tickets, for example.
Ah, the lottery. The hope tax.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
The book highlights the story of Henry's dad, who spent $30 a week for 42 years on lottery tickets. That adds up to $65,520.
Okay, that's a chunk of change.
A big chunk. If he had simply invested that money instead, at average market returns, it could have grown to over $1 million.
Over $1 million from lottery ticket money. Wow, that's sobering.
Isn't it? The lottery's appeal, that tiny 1 in 300 million shot for $2, it preys on desperation and the desire to avoid hard work.
Right. But the reality is, even if you do win, it likely won't solve anything in the long run. In fact, many lottery winners end up broke again, often with more misery and complications than before.
Why is that?
Because they never addressed the underlying mindset or learned genuine wealth-building habits. It's a classic example of seeking instant gratification over sustainable growth.
Right. And it's not just lotteries, is it? There's also the seductive allure of things like day trading and financial bubbles.
Oh, yeah. Dr. Brad shares a deeply humbling personal experience with this. He sold his truck for $10,000 and invested it all in day trading during the tech bubble.
Okay, how did that go?
Well, initially, he quickly doubled his money. He was fantasizing about being debt-free, but just as quickly, when the bubble burst, he watched most of it just melt away.
Ouch, he lost it all.
Most of it. He fell for the seductive fantasy of getting rich quickly. The book warns that many online gurus you see flaunting wealth are actually scammers preying on exactly that desperation.
So beware the easy money promises.
Absolutely. And this tendency towards get-rich-quick schemes ties directly into our ancient brain wiring versus modern patients.
How so? Our caveman brains.
Yeah, basically. Our brains are hardwired to conserve energy and seek immediate gratification. That was a survival mechanism back then.
This makes us prone to lazy solutions like buying lottery tickets or succumbing to day trading schemes instead of patiently building wealth through consistent, disciplined effort.
So we're fighting our own instincts.
It's a constant tug of war with our primal urges, yeah. And these schemes exploit that perfectly.
And this leads directly to a significant trap they talk about: learned helplessness.
Right. Get-rich-quick schemes specifically target those who feel powerless and desperate. When these schemes inevitably fail, people often blame themselves, right?
Yeah, you feel like a failure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which deepens their hopelessness and makes them even more vulnerable to the next scam. It's a vicious cycle where predators exploit those feeling trapped and vulnerable, convincing them that easy, flashy solutions are the only way out.
When in reality, they just dig a deeper hole.
Precisely.
The book's clear message is to recognize this cycle and break it. Okay, so if we're avoiding those pitfalls, how do rich people actually operate their finances? The book outlines several strategic money plays that are maybe fundamentally different from what many people assume.
Right. First up, there's the credit play.
Credit. Okay, important stuff.
Hugely important. Having bad credit, the authors say, is like trying to run with 50-pound ankle weights. It leads to higher interest rates, more fees, needing security deposits for basic services. It just makes life harder and more expensive.
So true.
And the golden rule, which so many people get wrong, is to pay off credit cards in full each month. Carrying a balance actually hurts your score. It doesn't help it build.
That's a critical error many people make, thinking they need to carry a balance.
Huge mistake. Pay it off.
Okay, so manage credit wisely. What's next?
Then there's the get-rich-slow play. This is basically the anti-get-rich-quick strategy.
Right, patience is key.
Precisely. The real way to build wealth is steadily over time, through consistency and hard work, not through risky, desperate schemes. As frustrating as this might initially seem in our world of instant gratification.
Yeah, it's not sexy.
It's not sexy, but a life of lottery, duds, and trading tiers is far worse than the patient accumulation of wealth. This strategy emphasizes compounding and discipline, directly contrasting that quick-fix mentality.
Got it. Slow and steady wins the race. What else?
Another crucial strategy they highlight is the multiple streams of income play. This is fascinating because it's not just about having one job.
Right, diversifying your income.
Absolutely. The book advocates for getting at least 10 streams of income to achieve what they call financial invincibility.
10? Wow, that seems like a lot.
It does, but this diversification acts as a powerful safety net. It ensures you're not solely reliant on one source that could disappear overnight, like we saw with those job losses.
Okay, that makes sense. Security through diversity.
It's a common trait among the truly wealthy. They understand that true security comes from multiple, varied income pipelines, not just a single salary.
Okay, and perhaps one of the most provocative plays they discuss is the consumer play, which essentially boils down to avoiding flex culture.
Ah, yes, the flexing. This is where the authors get really blunt. They state that Americans are addicted to buying things they don't genuinely need, simply to impress people who fundamentally don't care.
Ouch, that's direct.
It is, and it's a stark contrast to reality. Most self-made millionaires are incredibly frugal and actually downplay their wealth. It's often people with less money who are trying to show off, trying to look wealthy rather than actually being wealthy.
Why do people do that then?
Well, the psychology behind this flex has ancient roots like Vikings flaunting their treasures, an evolutionary impulse to display success for survival or mating. But in modern times, it's financially destructive. Bernard Arnault, the head of LVMH, became one of the richest people on Earth by exploiting this very human insecurity, knowing insecure people would rather go broke and look rich.
So luxury brands prey on insecurity.
Largely, yes. Dr. Brad even shares a viral video where his 8-year-old son recognized that people flexing luxury brands in Vegas were broke and insecure. Many celebrities, he points out, are even paid to flex brands to sell them to the middle class.
Wow. So it's all perception over reality for a lot of people. And the authors really drive home that the things you own become a liability.
They do. Expensive cars, luxury items, large homes. They aren't just financial burdens with high maintenance costs and depreciation. They also create mental burdens.
Like worrying about them.
Exactly. Worrying about them, maintaining them. Dr. Brad recounts a friend paying $2,000 for Land Rover maintenance, while his used Toyota 4Runner cost $90. That's a huge difference.
No kidding.
Adrian and his wife even made the radical choice to get rid of their wedding rings, to free themselves from the worry of loss or damage. They fully embraced a minimalist philosophy, valuing freedom and peace of mind over material possessions.
Getting rid of wedding rings. That's a powerful statement.
It really is.
And this cycle is further compounded by the fact that debt doesn't just disappear when the excitement of a purchase fades.
No, it certainly doesn't. The initial excitement from a new purchase typically wears off within 6 weeks to 3 months, but the associated debt can linger for 7 years on your credit report.
7 years. Affecting everything.
Everything. Your ability to get loans, buy homes, even get certain jobs. And flexing luxury also attracts transactional, conditional relationships and what the book calls fake friends, who are only there for the shine, not for you.
So it's a lose-lose situation, basically.
Pretty much. Financially and socially.
Okay. So what's fascinating here is the sheer simplicity of how truly wealthy people approach investing and how surprisingly accessible it can be for anyone. not just the elite. The first step, they say, is straightforward. Don't be afraid to invest.
That fear is a huge barrier, isn't it? The fear of investing, often rooted in mistrust of institutions or just feeling like you don't know enough, is a major factor that keeps many people poor.
But you don't need to be rich to start.
Absolutely not. That's a critical point the authors make. You can begin with incredibly small amounts, even $30 a month, often the cost of a streaming service.
Right.
You can use accessible apps and platforms like Acorns, Vanguard, Fidelity, Charles Schwab, Betterment. Adrian even talks about investing his spare change automatically every time he uses his credit card.
Just automating small amounts.
Exactly. Taking these small, consistent actions doesn't just build wealth over time. It crucially shifts your mindset into wealth mode, makes you feel like an investor, and builds confidence.
Okay. But the big question always is, what should I invest in? The book provides a clear recommendation here, right? Research target date funds.
Yes. For DIY investors, these funds are genius because they're designed to rebalance automatically over time.
How does that work?
When you're young, they invest in riskier assets with higher growth potential. As you get older and closer to your target retirement date, they gradually shift to more stable, conservative
So
investments.
it adjusts for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They require very little expertise, are incredibly inexpensive, and can actually outperform the majority of individual investors who try to beat the market by trading individual stocks.
Really? Better than trying to pick stocks.
Often, yes. And crucially, they give you access to the same sophisticated, diversified investments that, in the past, only the rich could access. It democratizes long-term wealth building.
That's huge, making sophisticated investing accessible.
It really is.
And finally, for those with more complex situations or maybe just preferring expert guidance, the book stresses the absolute importance of finding the right financial advisor. They say 70% of millionaires work with advisors.
That's right, 70%. They're often too busy making more money or enjoying their freedom to worry about daily market fluctuations.
Makes sense.
And a good financial advisor does more than just invest your money. They assist with cash flow management, tax planning, retirement strategies, estate planning, educational planning, insurance. They look at your entire financial ecosystem.
Okay, holistic planning. But there's a catch, right? Not all advisors are the same.
That's the crazy truth. Most people calling themselves financial advisors aren't legally required to act in your best interests.
Seriously, how is that legal?
It's a huge issue. This is where it gets critical for listeners. The solution is to work with a fiduciary, specifically a registered investment advisor, or RIA.
A fiduciary. What does that mean?
A fiduciary must legally put your financial interests first and disclose all fees. This is crucial because, unlike some advisors who might be selling you products that earn them a higher commission, a fiduciary is legally bound to recommend what's best for you, period.
Okay, so always look for a fiduciary or an RIA.
Absolutely essential.
Yeah.
Dr. Brad's firm, YMW Advisors, is an example of an RIA. The book emphasizes that it's not only humble but profoundly smart to rely on experts in such complex fields.
Got it. Find a fiduciary. Okay, this brings us to a really critical question then.
Wow.
What is a job, really, in the context of achieving genuine financial freedom? The book makes a pretty provocative statement. Only liars say they love their jobs.
Wow, okay.
Unless, of course, they truly love surrendering their freedom.
Oof. That's a very blunt but thought-provoking assertion. When you sell your time and labor, those things no longer truly belong to you, do they?
No, you're trading time for money.
You don't get to choose your hours, your commute, your managers, or even your work site most of the time. And corporations, the book reminds us, will always prioritize their financial interests above yours.
That's a hard truth.
Especially when you look at the numbers. 40 million Americans losing jobs in 2023 alone. There's simply no sure thing in a traditional 9-to-5 anymore. It's a stark reminder that what we perceive as security often comes with significant strings attached.
So, in essence, jobs often rob you of choice, as the authors see it.
Exactly. Dr. Brad recounts his own experience when he was on a billable hour model. Taking time off meant significant financial hits. A vacation cost not just the trip itself, but also lost income.
Right, the opportunity cost.
Yeah. If he got sick, he had to make up the time on nights and weekends. That's not freedom. It's a lifestyle driven by financial insecurity and a constant fear of lost income. It truly makes you understand the value of every hour you commit to an employer.
Yeah, it puts it in perspective. The ultimate goal then, according to the book, is financial freedom itself. Being able to do what you want, when and where you want.
That's the dream, right?
This, they argue, is what truly buys back your time.
allowing you to engage in fulfilling activities on your own terms, rather than being dictated by an employer's schedule or needs. It's about taking back ownership of your most precious asset, your time.
Owning your time, that's powerful.
All right, let's unpack this next harsh truth from the book, because it hits close to home for many of us, myself included sometimes. People who binge Netflix without a side hustle will be broke forever. Expert. That's a bold claim. How does the book justify such a direct challenge to our leisure time?
It's certainly a wake-up call, isn't it? The core idea is about understanding where your time goes and what it could be producing instead.
Okay.
And it leads directly into demystifying passive income. Because for a lot of people, that phrase conjures up images of money magically appearing without any effort.
Right, money while you sleep.
Kind of, but the book clarifies it isn't money without work, it's leveraged work. It's work that has the potential to continue to make money without the burden of additional time.
Okay, work smarter, not just harder, later on.
Exactly. Adrian's example powerfully illustrates this. He put in about 100 hours up front, creating 500 Amazon product review videos. That's a significant initial investment of time, right?
100 hours? Yeah, that's dedication.
But listen to the payoff. In the first year, those videos generated over $22,000.
Wow.
The second year, with less than 10 additional hours of work, they more than doubled that, bringing in over $43,000.
Incredible return on time invested.
Absolutely. And even as he was writing the book, years later, they were still generating thousands monthly with basically no new work. It's the difference between trading hours for dollars and investing hours for a perpetually generating asset.
So that's the real insight. Time is your currency, and you can spend it or you can invest it.
Precisely.
Wow, that's not just passive. It's almost exponential. And it completely reframes how we think about that extra time after our 9 to 5. It sounds like the book is pushing us to see every hour as a potential investment, not just a consumption opportunity.
Exactly. And the authors encourage treating the process of finding and building additional income streams as a side hustle game.
A game, like gamifying it.
Kind of. Instead of complaining about the necessity of a side hustle just to survive, you treat it like a fun game where you rack up points in the form of financial freedom. It transforms the mindset from a burden to an opportunity.
Turning work into an empowering pursuit. I like that.
Yeah, it makes it less daunting.
The book then dives into specific, top online side hustles, offering clear choices and even relating them to common leisure activities, which is a clever way to illustrate the time commitment involved.
Right, comparing binge-watching time to learning time.
Exactly. First, they contrast Stranger Things or Side Hustle King, mini project-based services. The 21 hours it takes to binge Stranger Things is roughly the same amount of time it would take you to learn how to create an online gig on platforms like Fiverr.
So you could learn a skill instead of watching TV.
Pretty much. You could offer services like proofreading, logo design, translations, even architectural or tattoo designs. They cite Alex Fasulo, a friend of the authors, who made over $1 million doing copywriting gigs on such platforms.
$1 million from Fiverr gigs. That's amazing.
It shows the potential. The built-in marketplace makes it surprisingly easy to find buyers for your new skills.
Okay, what's next?
Next, they ask, Lucifer or lucrative, user-generated content or UGC. You could spend over 2 days binge-watching Lucifer, or use that time to learn about UGC. This is presented as an incredibly easy side hustle, where you create product reviews for items you already own.
Just reviewing stuff you bought anyway.
Yeah. Companies will pay you not just once, but sometimes dozens of times over several years for your reviews, turning your everyday purchases into income generators.
That sounds pretty accessible.
Very. Then there's Punisher or Profits, ebooks, templates, and guides. It would take over 22 hours to watch The Punisher. In that same time, they argue, you could create an ebook or guide to sell.
Like an info product.
Exactly. This is highlighted as one of the lowest risk, most profitable businesses because it costs only your time to create, using free tools like Canva. The goal is to create helpful tactical guides like how to set up a LinkedIn page or a guide for buying a used car that solve a specific problem for people.
And sell them for a relatively low price.
Yeah, like $7 to $27.
Yeah.
Adrian himself has sold thousands of these mini books online.
Wow, small amounts add up.
They really do. Continuing the theme, they pose Queer Eye or Rich Guy. Online courses. Over 55 hours is what you'd spend on Queer Eye.
Yeah.
In that time, you could learn to create your own online course. This involves screen recording or simply talking on camera. You don't need to be a world expert. The biggest audience is often beginners.
So you don't have to be the ultimate guru.
Not at all.
You can teach anything from making homemade tortillas to knitting or even basic skiing. The potential for impact and income here is truly limitless.
Oh, okay. Courses. What else?
Then Grey's Anatomy or Grow Financially.
Well,
Content creators. Grey's Anatomy has like 343 hours of content.
it's a lot of TV.
Right. Instead of consuming all that, you could be creating content. Content creation is expected to be a $480 billion industry by 2027.
Huge market.
Huge. There's incredibly high demand for fresh voices and perspectives. Platforms like YouTube, newsletters, blogs offer diverse monetization opportunities, and technology like AI makes content creation even easier and more accessible than ever before.
So becoming a creator instead of just a consumer.
Precisely. And finally, Breaking Bad or banking bucks.
Oh, affiliate marketing. In the 60 hours it takes to watch Breaking Bad, you can learn affiliate marketing.
Affiliate marketing, selling other people's stuff.
Basically, yeah. This is Adrian's most lucrative side hustle. It involves earning a commission for selling someone else's product online. It requires content creation and building a following first, but the potential is huge.
How huge?
Think about it. 1,000 sales on just a $5 commission equals $5,000. And it's much simpler than building your own product and managing inventory.
Right, no fulfillment hassles.
Exactly. It's clear from all these examples that the authors really emphasize the sacrifice for passive income. They recount how they personally worked nights and weekends while their friends partied.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
It is. They drove used cars, filled 401ks instead of closets. While their friends consumed content, they were meticulously creating it, building online platforms with millions of followers. This commitment is precisely why they call them side hustles, not side take-it-easies.
Right. It takes upfront effort.
A lot of it. The blunt truth is you won't achieve passive income through passive work. It requires intentional, often uncomfortable effort up front.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, all this effort and side hustling leads to an ultimate goal that isn't retirement in the traditional sense, but true financial freedom. And this is where the FIRE movement comes in, right?
Yeah. FIRE, financial independence, retire early. It radically reframes retirement as owning your time at any age.
Owning your time. There's that phrase again.
Exactly. It's about securing a strong financial future while you're still young enough to enjoy life and continue pursuing passions or making money on your own terms, rather than waiting until traditional retirement age when health or energy might decline.
Okay. And a core principle of FIRE is what they call extreme savings, isn't it?
That's right. While a traditional financial advisor might applaud saving 15% of your income, FIRE advocates push for saving 40, 70%, or even more.
40 to 70%. That's huge.
It is huge. It's meant to drastically shortcut the path to freedom. Adrian's van life is a prime example of this extreme approach. His cost of living was sometimes as low as $600 a month.
$600 a month.
Yeah, which enabled him to save and invest over $1 million in just 1 year, something that normally takes people a lifetime of careful planning.
That's insane, but it shows what's possible.
It does. And Dr. Brad also made significant sacrifices early in his career. He paid off $100,000 in student debt in just 3 years while fully funding his retirement accounts, driving beat-up cars, living minimally. He ultimately reached financial freedom in his 40s.
So it requires real dedication and sacrifice.
Absolutely. It's a testament to what is possible with radical dedication.
The book also delves into the downsides of traditional retirement, which might surprise some listeners who envision it as just a carefree golden age. One striking example they highlight is retired husband syndrome, or RHS.
Yeah, it's a fascinating and poignant insight. RHS is a stress-induced condition identified in the wives of retired Japanese men.
Why does it happen?
Symptoms include stress, depression, agitation, even physical issues. It's often due to increased time together and an unequal division of labor that traditional roles perpetuate. It's become such a recognized issue that it's a leading cause of divorce in that age group.
Wow. So retirement isn't always bliss.
Not automatically. Groups like Men in the Kitchen have even formed to teach retired men how to clean and cook. It points to a deeper issue beyond just finances.
And there are broader implications for gender health and retirement as well, they mention.
Absolutely. Studies show men's physical and psychological health can decline more sharply when they lose their sense of purpose that work often provides in retirement. Women, on the other hand, often maintain purpose through caregiving, social networks, and leisure activities.
Interesting difference there.
Also, those with higher mental demands in their jobs often experience slower cognitive decline when they remain mentally active in retirement. Staying engaged is crucial.
And of course, loneliness is another big concern for retirees.
It is. The book emphasizes the importance for retirees to cultivate a peer group that is also not working and to actively engage in social leisure activities, like pickleball maybe, to maintain well-being and a sense of purpose.
You need to plan the social side too.
Definitely. The social aspect of work is often underestimated, and finding new ways of connecting is vital in retirement.
So given all this, the book emphasizes the crucial importance of defining your financial freedom goal. This isn't just a vague idea, right?
No, it means setting specific, tangible goals, like maybe buying back 1 day of your week, or working only 20 hours a week, or achieving full financial freedom where passive income fully funds your desired lifestyle.
And then you work backward from that goal.
Exactly. You work backward to determine the steps needed to reach it. It gives you a clear roadmap.
Okay. And for long-term financial freedom, the concept of nest egg income and the 4% rule is crucial. What's that about?
Right. Your nest egg is the culmination of all your investment accounts, your 401k, IRAs, brokerage accounts, everything. The 4% rule is a guideline suggesting that you can withdraw 4% of your nest egg annually for income without touching the principal, assuming average market returns.
So a $1 million nest egg gives you.
A $1 million nest egg could theoretically provide $40,000 per year for life, adjusting for inflation. It provides a clear target for accumulating wealth. How big does your nest egg need to be to support your desired lifestyle using that 4% withdrawal?
Got it. A concrete target. Lastly, a key strategy for the wealthy, and perhaps one of the most practical, is outsourcing to buy back time.
This is a classic wealthy habit. Wealthy individuals outsource almost everything that isn't their core competency or doesn't bring them joy, house cleaning, cooking.
Adrian hired a chef.
Adrian actually hired a chef, personal assistants too, all to optimize their most precious resource, time.
Because time equals freedom.
Exactly. The book argues that time equals freedom and that reclaiming your time is more exhilarating than 1,000 sports cars and skyrockets life satisfaction. It's about consciously designing your life to maximize time for what truly matters, rather than getting bogged down in tasks others can do more efficiently.
All right, shifting from personal psychology and strategic action to societal structures, the book also offers a really nuanced look at what we've always been told are the traditional paths to wealth, and maybe some of their harsh truths.
Okay, like what paths?
Let's start with go to college. Statistically, the data is pretty compelling, right? College graduates make significantly more money, an average of $1.2 million more in lifetime earnings, and they weather economic downturns better.
Yeah, the numbers usually back that up.
A Ramsey Solutions study found that 88% of millionaires went to college. Generally, more education means more money, lower jobless rates. Plus, bachelor's degree holders are 47% more likely to have health insurance.
Okay, so college is generally good financially.
Dr. Brad even approaches college as a business decision. He used the Department of Labor's Occupational Outlook Handbook to find the highest-paying doctorate in his field.
Very strategic, but there's a catch, right?
There is. The catch is that you need to pick a money-making major. The book emphasizes that arts, humanities, social work, psychology, while valuable to society and personally enriching,
Might not pay the bills.
they often lead to minimum wage and regret if not approached strategically for their earning potential, or if you don't combine them with another valuable skill set like Dr. Brad did. It's about aligning your education with market demand.
Right. College is a business decision, not just passion pursuit sometimes.
Exactly. Next, there's the surprising financial truth about get married. This might surprise some, but according to Federal Reserve Bank data, married couples have approximately 9 times more wealth than single people.
9 times! That's a staggering statistic. Why is that? Yeah, because most millionaires, 95%, do own their homes, and homeowners generally have a much higher net worth.
Right. Dr. Brad Klontz is a big proponent of homeownership for several reasons. He sees it as forced savings and equity building, where mortgage payments build equity that most Americans wouldn't otherwise save.
Okay, the forced savings aspect.
He also highlights financial security, noting that the bulk of your payment remains stable, unlike the average 8.85% annual rent increase since 1980. Homes also act as an inflation hedge, offer tax benefits through deductions, and a paid-off home means secure retirement with minimal housing costs.
That's a very traditional and compelling argument for homeownership.
Yeah.
But Adrian Brambila, coming from his minimalist and nomadic background, offers a radically different perspective, right? His anti-homeownership, pro-renting view.
Exactly. His analysis, crunching the numbers, showed not a single scenario where owning outperformed renters who consistently invested their savings instead.
Wow, one.
Not one in his analysis. He cited one scenario where renters who invested gained $1.56 million compared to just $16,000 for homeowners over the same period. And a Dallas homeowner even saw a net loss of $315,000 when all costs were factored in.
A loss. How?
His perspective is that your home can actually own you. High mortgage payments, he argues, restrict your freedom, limiting travel, making job changes harder, adding other financial pressures. He points out all the hidden costs, appliance replacement, repairs, HOA fees that can unexpectedly drain your finances.
Right, it's not just the mortgage payment.
And crucially, he stresses that a personal residence does not produce cash flow. It costs you money monthly, unlike an investment property that pays you.
So he sees it as a liability, not an asset, unless it's rented out.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
His own strategy involved buying a small condo well below budget, based on one income. Later, even with a $1.2 million home, the mortgage was a much smaller percentage of his exponentially growing income.
So affordability relative to income was key.
Absolutely. His radical recommendation to free up money for investment, get a roommate, or even live in a van like he did.
Huh. Back to the van life. It highlights that the best path isn't one size fits all. It really depends on your goals and your willingness to challenge conventional wisdom.
Exactly. Two very different but equally valid perspectives depending on your priorities and lifestyle. Which brings us to a really critical point. How do we overcome the inherent human tendencies to avoid discomfort and take responsibility for our financial situations? The book is quite blunt with complaining is for losers.
Oof. That's direct. They argue that complainers either have no friends or toxic friends, while non-complainers actively improve their own lives and the lives of those around them.
And it ties into that learned helplessness trap again.
Yeah, the belief that the system is rigged or there's nothing you can do, which precisely keeps people stuck. Those who peddle this often feel guilty about their own privilege or have simply given up. The authors really push for ownership.
That's quite blunt. For listeners who might feel genuinely overwhelmed by their circumstances, how does the book balance this call for radical accountability with empathy for difficult situations? It sounds like tough love.
It is tough love, for sure. The book advocates for accountability for the brave. Dr. Brad shares a powerful personal story of his Jeep crash when he was young. Instead of sympathy, his dad immediately asked, "What could you do differently next time?"
Wow, right after a crash.
Right after. This instilled radical accountability in him from a young age, even when it stung. Similarly, Adrian recounts being demoted in college soccer and his dad's blunt question, "Well, what are you doing?" Asking about his focus on dancing instead of practicing soccer was a jarring but necessary reality check.
So it's about focusing on what you can control.
Exactly. The message is clear. Excuses like, "I don't have time," or "life's not fair," or "I'm not a trust fund baby," are, as they put it, for cowards. The focus must be on what you can do. Recognizing that money is a tool, a personality exaggerator, not inherently good or evil, and it's ultimately in your control to wield it.
That really reinforces the idea of an internal locus of control we talked about earlier. And this leads to another harsh but potentially empowering truth from the book. It's not your fault if you were born poor, but it is your fault if you die poor.
This is perhaps one of the most potent messages in the entire book. Adrian's family story exemplifies this beautifully. His dad came from Mexico at 15 with no money or English, worked hard washing cars, eventually became a parts manager.
Incredible work ethic.
Incredible. He refused to buy new clothes till he saved $10,000. His parents retired at 56 as millionaires through extreme sacrifice, living in a poor neighborhood, no fancy clothes, no eating out, no alcohol, no luxury cars, just playing cheap soccer for fun.
Wow. Decades of discipline.
Exactly. The book argues, maybe controversially, you can't compete with an immigrant because many are willing to work harder and sacrifice more than average Americans, embodying a true rich mindset and seeing America as a land of possibility and opportunity.
That's a powerful and often overlooked perspective. It also counters that shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generations idea showing wealth can be built from nothing.
Right, but it can also be squandered if those values of hard work and sacrifice aren't passed down through intentional effort.
True. Another critical aspect they emphasize is choosing your inner circle. The old saying, "You are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with," is a central theme here.
It's a foundational psychological truth, isn't it? The book advises avoiding what they call moocher friends, those who constantly borrow money without trying to change their own situations.
Right. How do they suggest helping them then?
The best way to help, they argue, isn't with handouts, which can enable bad habits, but by offering opportunities, maybe a side gig, a class, a financial literacy program, something that empowers them.
Okay, opportunities, not handouts.
And human psychology, rooted in that tribe mentality, makes it incredibly hard to leave harmful connections as our brainwaves literally sync with those around us.
So how do you distance yourself if needed?
Distancing might mean limiting shared information about your financial goals, focusing on other shared interests, and just allowing yourself to naturally drift away as your mindset evolves. Sometimes, however, they say you must cut someone off, both financially and personally, if they are truly holding you back.
That's a tough but sometimes necessary piece of advice. And the book makes it abundantly clear. Nobody becomes a millionaire without some help. It's arrogant, they argue, to think you can do it alone.
That's a crucial insight. The mistrust of experts, which is common among lower-income individuals, often stems from past exploitation or perhaps embarrassment about their financial knowledge.
Right, feeling like you'll ask a dumb question.
Exactly. Adrian's first mentor was his marketing professor, Craig Marty, who asked him about Roth IRAs and budgeting. Adrian was initially embarrassed, but didn't let it stop him, and this conversation organically built into a lifelong relationship that shaped his financial habits.
So overcoming that initial embarrassment is key.
Absolutely. Wealthy clients, in contrast, are often more trusting of advisors because they've seen the value and understand the power of specialized knowledge.
So for our listeners, what's the proper etiquette for asking for help from these experts or potential mentors? You can't just cold call someone.
No, definitely not. The book is quite clear on this. Avoid cold asks or the casual, can I pick your brain, without prior engagement.
What counts as engagement?
Reading their books, taking their courses, commenting thoughtfully on their work online, demonstrate you've already done your homework and respect their contribution. Show respect for their time. Be prepared with clear, concise questions.
And definitely don't.
Definitely do not argue, interrupt, brag, or ask for favors right off the bat. If meeting in person, always insist on paying for coffee or lunch. This demonstrates your seriousness, your respect for their time, and your understanding that their knowledge has value.
Good practical advice. And finally, a strategy that all wealthy people employ, which might not be about earning, but about smart management. Hiring tax experts.
This is universal among the wealthy. They don't hire them to cheat the system, let's be clear.
Right, not about tax evasion.
No, it's about legally minimizing their tax responsibility. As income and net worth grow, financial lives become incredibly complex. Tax experts help navigate complex tax codes, utilize legitimate deductions like 401k and traditional Roth IRA contributions, and advise on things like state taxes.
State taxes can make a big difference.
Huge difference. Like California's 12.3% income tax for seven-figure earners compared to no income tax states like Texas or Florida, that can represent enormous savings over time. Dr. Brad helped Adrian when his income soared, confirming that rich people pay a lot in taxes, but also highlighting the legitimate strategies available to reduce the burden.
So it's humble and smart to rely on experts.
Absolutely, especially in specialized fields like tax law where the stakes are high.
So wrapping this all up, what does this all mean for you, the listener? It means transforming your financial life begins not just with external actions and strategies, but really with a profound internal shift in mindset.
Right. It starts from within.
We've unpacked how your beliefs about money, your approach to work, your willingness to embrace side hustles, and even your choice of relationships all fundamentally contribute to your financial trajectory. The author's message in Start Thinking Rich is one of tough love, certainly.
Definitely tough love.
But ultimately, immense hope. It's a powerful call to personal responsibility, making it abundantly clear that while it might not be your fault if you were born poor, you absolutely don't have to stay that way. The power to change is within your grasp right now.
And this raises an important final question for you to maybe mull over after this. If time truly is your most precious asset, and if true wealth is ultimately defined by owning your time, what seemingly uncomfortable or extraordinary measures are you willing to take right now, starting today, to stop trading hours for dollars?
What step will you take?
Yeah, what step will you take to dismantle your old mindsets and truly begin the journey of thinking rich so you can live the life you actually want? Consider Adrian's radical van life, or Dr. Brad's years of intense sacrifice, or even the simple act of cutting out a streaming service to invest that time or money back into yourself. What's your first bold, maybe uncomfortable step toward truly owning your time?
Thanks for tuning in to the Book Summary Podcast. If you found value in today's episode, hit that like button, subscribe for more summaries, and share it with someone who's ready to grow. Want deeper insights, exclusive book notes, and reading tips? Join our free newsletter. The link's in the description. And don't forget, if you'd like to read the full book, our affiliate link is right below. It helps support the channel and keeps the summaries coming. Until next time, keep reading, keep growing.